Hello, JD here, and welcome to another How to DIY video. In this video, I'll be going over how to translate instructions. First, a funny little backstory on why I decided to create this video. I purchased this TMNT Back to the Sewer board game for my kids. It was used, but it was still sealed, and it had um, English and French writing on the top, bottom, and sides of the box. So naturally, I assumed it should have English directions inside. Um, since it's used, I can't confirm that it ever did, but what I got was just a French document and all of these pieces. Now, the board looks awesome with all these pieces, uh, the cards, the red cards, green cards, the characters, and the sewer covers, the dies, all the icons, the spinner wheel. It was just hard to make out what to do with everything. There was no clear indication of where to start, where to finish, how to win. So I was at a loss as to how to play this game, and I had to figure something out. Now here's a photo of the French instructions that came with the game. I took this with my iPhone, and even though I took 4 years of French in high school a while back, I could maybe make out like 20% of what it was saying, and that definitely wasn't enough to play the game correctly. So off to Google we go. And the terms that I searched for were image OCR. And OCR stands for optical character recognition, as you can see in the second search results description there. How did I know to search for image OCR? Well, I purchased a scanner way back when, and it came with some OCR software. That was my first stint using that kind of functionality. So what it did was it was able to scan the printed documents that I had in the scanner and convert it into not just an image, but a text file. It picked up all the text on the piece of paper that I scanned. And so I figured that's the technology that I need here. And the very first link happened to have exactly what I was looking for. So let's take a look at that website. So here we are on onlineocr.net. I am not affiliated with this website whatsoever, but kudos to them for providing this free online service. Um, I was able to perform the steps right there, the 3 steps shown below. Um, Basically selected the file, uh, uploading that photo that I showed earlier with just the French instructions on it. And I selected French in step 2 so that it would know to scan for French text, and left the second drop down as Microsoft Word because I needed it in a Word document format, and you'll see why in a little bit. But then from there, I just clicked step 3, the convert button, and it generated the Word button that was downloadable, and it just saved to my laptop here. And here we have the resulting Word document. I was very impressed with the outcome of that service. Um, I'd say maybe 99% of the text was properly picked up. You can see in the middle of the left column there above instructions, there's the P comma RE and a Y0 to E. That was an example of some of the text that it didn't pick up properly, but for the most part, it did a great job. Now on to the actual steps of how I went about translating from French to English. Clicking on the Review tab, there was a language section, and in that language section, there are two buttons, one for translate, one for language. Clicking on the little down arrow, there are three options for translate. Um, the first one there being translate document, and I had already pre-selected French to English, um, but there was a whole plethora of other languages to choose from. So hopefully it'll cover the language that you're looking for as well. But selecting that first option didn't do exactly what I was looking for, and here's what I'm talking about. Before I show you the result, this is what happens when you click translate the whole document. You'll get this pop-up. It'll warn you that it has to send the entire document unsecured over the internet. And whether or not you're comfortable with that, you can send or don't send accordingly. So in this case, since it was just uh, a kid's game's instructions, I was comfortable with it, so I clicked send. And this was what came of sending it out to that translation service. So you can see how it came back with these broken images for the images that the OCR service had picked up in that Word document. But you can also see the French kind of maybe side by side with some of the English, um, but the formatting was terrible. So I was not happy with these results. Um, so back to the drawing board. So now I went with the second option. Now, if it formatted the text for you the right way with the first option, then great, you're done. But since it didn't work out too well for me and the way it formatted everything was really hard to read, I decided to just translate one section at a time and copy and paste it from the translated results back into the Word document so I'd have a nice translated and formatted document at the end of this, so that I could easily refer to it and read it, print it out if I have to, and share with my kids and be able to play the game finally. Um, so as you can see, I have some text selected there on the left side, um, and I clicked on, translate selected text, and that generated the panel to the right. And in the middle of that right panel, there's the game in brief. Each player moves along, yada yada yada. That is the translated text of the French that's highlighted there. So I was pleased by those results. Clearly uh, understandable. So I just copied and pasted the text uh, where it needed to go to replace, doing the one for one replacement and keeping the format intact. So you can see I did that for all the paragraphs above the highlighted text already, and I was just making my way down to the end of that document. And here we have the final result. I was able to save it out, manipulate the gray background that it picked up, got rid of it, in fact, and left the images alone. It missed um, that one image for wheel boxes, but I'm fine with that. It missed another image with the T and the minus sign next to it under the wheel boxes description. Um, but that's okay too. Uh, so, having the rest of the parts intact and the images where I need them to be and the full description of how exactly to prepare the board, win the game, it's all there. I was very happy with what happened with this process here, and hopefully you will be able to make use of this process for what you need translated. So, as always, thanks for watching. Please support my channel by subscribing and liking this video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.